Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to DW, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has proposed a face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate an end to the war. In an open letter published on the Ukrainian presidency's website, Zelenskyy stated that Ukraine is prepared for a full ceasefire for the duration of such negotiations, but warned that the country will continue fighting for its existence if Russia does not agree to end the conflict. Meanwhile, during an economic conference in St. Petersburg, Putin projected confidence, claiming that Russian forces hold the upper hand and are advancing daily along the front lines. Despite these assertions, Western analyses indicate that Russian advances have largely stalled due to Ukrainian drone operations, resulting in heavy casualties. Putin indicated he is still willing to reach an agreement through peaceful means, but pointed to previous compromises discussed with U.S. President Donald Trump, such as Ukraine abandoning its NATO aspirations and recognizing Crimea as Russian territory. The Kremlin stated that Putin has not yet read Zelenskyy's letter, but remarked that the Ukrainian leader is welcome to visit Moscow at any time. According to a report by NBC6, South Florida, the United States government has imposed sanctions on Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel and 4 other individuals, as announced in a filing on the U.S. Treasury Department's website. Among those targeted is Alejandro Castro Espín, the son of former Cuban President Raúl Castro. These new measures were enacted after U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order expanding existing sanctions against the island nation. The administration's move is intended to escalate economic and political pressure on the Cuban government and its leadership. While these measures significantly heighten tensions, this is not the first time the U.S. has used targeted sanctions against foreign heads of state or their family members. Historically, the U.S. has imposed similar sanctions on former Sudanese President Omar Bashir and former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe in the early 2000s, and has more recently targeted Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. The latest action underscores the ongoing hardline stance of the U.S. administration toward the Cuban leadership. According to Japan Today, Japan and the United States have agreed to form a $1 billion partnership over 5 years aimed at advancing emerging technologies through artificial intelligence. With this agreement, Japan becomes the first international partner for U.S. President Donald Trump's Genesis mission, a national initiative launched in November to double U.S. scientific productivity within a decade using AI. Under the deal, both countries will invest $500 million each. Joint teams of Japanese and American scientists, alongside leading research institutions, will collaborate on various tech frontiers. These projects include quantum computing, fusion energy, autonomous laboratory systems, biotechnology, advanced materials, and particle physics. The initiative will be led by the U.S. Department of Energy and Japan's Ministries of Science and Industry. Officials from both nations emphasized that the partnership will grant Japan access to advanced U.S. scientific resources, such as state-of-the-art supercomputers, while reinforcing their shared global leadership in technology amid rising competition with China. According to a report by Liberty Times, Japan and the Philippines have launched formal negotiations to demarcate their exclusive economic zones, (E) and continental shelf boundaries. Because the designated areas significantly overlap with waters east of Taiwan, the move has triggered a strong backlash from Beijing, which condemned the talks as illegal and invalid. Experts suggest that the geopolitical implications of these talks far outweigh the legal aspects. As close allies of the United States, Japan and the Philippines are attempting to reinforce the first island chain defense. Demarcating these waters would grant both nations the authority to patrol, enforce maritime laws, and conduct military activities east of Taiwan. This could severely restrict the Chinese military's naval access to crucial Western Pacific waters during a potential conflict over Taiwan, directly challenging Beijing's unification ambitions. While Taipei has dismissed China's economic claims over the region and requested clarification from Tokyo and Manila, Beijing is expected to establish regular Coast Guard patrols east of Taiwan to assert its presence. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.